I come from Oregon. I probably told some of you that before. That's where I come from. And when I got out of school there by a thread, I got this ride down to Santa Rosa, California, and that didn't work out at all. So I called my brother. He was living in Austin. He had these friends that were letting him stay on their couch. And I figured they might have a couch that I could stay on. So I got this ride to Austin, Texas, and got to this address my brother gave me, and this guy introduced himself as Bonehead. And I went in and started asking around. Turned out they didn't have the second couch. They just had the one couch for my brother. But they knew where there was a party, and I thought, well, that's good enough. So we all got in this car, and we drove across town to this party where all these people were standing around drinking, and there was this guy in the corner of the party. His name was Trog, and he was 6'8", 300-pound guy. And he had a beer in each hand, and he was telling stories, and people would gather around him laughing. They weren't really funny stories, but he's 6'8", 300 pounds. So I went over there and started laughing too, you know. And then towards the end of the party, when everybody drizzled out a little bit, I got to talking with Trog. Turned out him and his friends, they did have an extra couch that somebody could stay on. So I went over to their house and stayed for like 3 months, you know. And we would, most of the time at night, we would sit around and listen to whatever Trog said we were going to listen to on the radio, you know. Drink beer or whatever. And, one night we were sitting there listening, and he put on this CD of this guy I'd never heard by Jerry Jeff Walker, who you might have heard of. Yeah. He, if you had never heard of him, his main thing people know him for is the song Mr. Bojangles, but he's got a ton of great songs. And I'd never heard that kind of music before, and I got so excited, I told my friend, I said, this is it for me, you know. He said, well, he's playing at this place called Green Hall. So that Friday night, me and Troll got in this truck, and we drove down to Green Hall to see Jerry Jeff, and he come out kind of like tonight, like I am, with just a guitar and sang some songs. I thought, shit, I could do that. So I went, I got myself a guitar, you know, and I started practicing, and a few months later I was singing, and I feel like I got all that Jerry Jeff Walker records that they are. I got every single one. And if you're like me, when you get a record, I like to read the inside, the notes and stuff inside. So I was reading in some of his Jerry Jeff Walker records, and it turns out he records most of his stuff in this little town, not really a studio, but a little town called Lukenbach, Texas, that you might remember from that song, Willie and Waylon and the Boys, in Lukenbach, Texas. The town itself is actually a beer hall, a post office, a house, a parking meter, and that's the whole fucking thing. And Jerry Jeff loved to hang out there, and he had become my hero, and they've had music on Fridays and Saturdays, so I wanted to play there. So I sent my tape over there and tried to get them to call me, and they never did call me. And then one night we were sitting around watching whatever Trog wanted to watch on TV, you know. And the phone rings, and this woman says, hey, this is Large Marge from down in Lukenbach. And our show on Saturday canceled, and we was wondering if you could come fill in. And I got excited, because I've been 6 or 7 months trying to get the show, so I was so excited. My heart's beating. I held the phone and checked with Trog. He said it was okay if we took the gig. And that weekend, we all got in this old $450 car that I had, and we started driving down the highway towards Lukenbach, Texas. And friends and neighbors, if you've never been to Lukenbach, Texas, you may never fucking go, because tourists take the signs that point to it to keep in the garage and stuff. So you get out in the desert and there's no signs, and of course it was just me and all my friends. There's all guys in the car, so we drove about another 2.5 hours before we ever pulled over and asked anybody where we was. We were on this thing called the Devil's Backbone Highway, right? So we finally pull into this place uniquely named the Devil's Backbone Tavern. And we go in, and all the guys say, I gotta go in, you know? And so I go in there, and it's like one of them bars, like everyone's drinking beer, and they like, say 20 people in there, and they may say 17 teeth total in the whole place. And I'm not a good fighter or very good at protecting myself at all, you know? So I thought, well, this may not work out. And, so I saw behind the bar there was this one older woman. She looked like she was in her 80s, and she kind of hunched over like I remember my grandma started to do. She had curly white hair, and she's all, I thought, well, I could take her. So I went over there. I go up to her. I says, man, we're trying to find Lukenbach, and we're so lost. And I swear this is true. She turned around really slow. I'll never forget it. She turned around, she looked up at me, and she kind of smiled. She says, "Fuck Luckenbach, drink with us." So we did. And at the end of the night, you know, we had got our guitars out and we were singing and everything and drank a whole bunch of beer. And I went up to her. They called her Miss Virgy. So I said, "Miss Virgy, how much do we owe you for the beer?" And she says, "You don't owe me nothing, boy." So we started, after that, every Friday after that, we would go down and sing for her, you know. By the end of the summer, I had gotten to know her and I made this song up, Miss Virgy, wherever she is tonight, I don't know, but I play this for her. It features the hottest guitar work that I could do.